shouldn't say, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. It does. All praise.
Mexican brothers getting shot in their own driveway in front of their kids. All of these are the beginning of sorrow, right? We believe these things. We come out here every week to show our faith.
Come out here and stop you? Did we come out here to talk to you? Did we come out here to talk to you? No, we came out here to talk to our people. We came out here to spread love to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Same people, your people.
Yeah, we put it for a little bit. 14, 13, or 14, 17? 14 and 3. Actually, I think you can start at 14 and 1. First and foremost, I want to say, call Allah, Yahweh, Bashin, Yahshua. It's all praise to the Most High God, in the name of His only begotten Son, for the world called Jesus Christ. It's your brother Hadar.
Your brother Taza Rock.
Out here at Phoenix AZ, SICARRI Sec, right? We're going to get into a quick little lesson. We plan to do more of these sit-downs coming up here in the future. Me personally, I'm going to try to keep it sweet and short. This brother just did a powerful lesson, powerful long lesson, about 2 hours long. That's, Lord willing, it'll come out.
Either today or tomorrow.
Today or tomorrow, Lord willing. But we'll post that to YouTube so we can further edify the nation and push towards this mark and this little penny we all trying to obtain.
It's like, Shalom, family, Shalom.
Shalom, Natash. Shalom, Yash. So without further ado, let's get into this. The topic today for this little lesson is going to be virgins undefiled by women, right? The elect of God being virgins, right? What does that mean? All right, we're going to start Revelation 14 and 1. Go ahead.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 1. And I looked, and lo, the Lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 140 and 4,000.
So we're speaking about the 144,000, which come out of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Those that are sealed by the Most High, those that will be of the ruling class in this new kingdom that we're looking forward to obtaining. Go ahead.
Having his Father's name written in their foreheads.
All right.
And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters.
All right.
And as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the 4 beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 140 and 4,000 which were redeemed from the earth.
So again, this is the 144,000 that are being redeemed. What verse you at, Dan?
4. I just read. I'm about to read 4.
Okay, keep going.
Verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women.
These are they that were not defiled by women. A lot of people in this community speak on things before they have understanding on it. Right? Pick up this Bible and take things for surface value, and then they go the bigger error is going out to teach these things without your doctrine being proven, right? Give me what verse was that?
I'm still at 4.
Keep going.
For they are virgins.
Right? So these men are virgins. People say all the time that the 144,000, these are virgins who have never slept with a woman. Right? Hey. So my question would be, first and foremost, does sleeping with a woman defile you? Right? Doesn't the Bible say the marriage bed is undefiled? Right? Can we get that real quick? Can we get that, please? So these men, these 144,000, are undefiled by women. My argument would be that sex does not defile a man, right? And that's not what it's speaking about when it says virgin.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is Hebrews 13:4.
Ooh, Salah.
Hebrews 13:4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers Yahweh will judge.
Right, so sex, marriage does not defile a man, right? You can't use that argument trying to say that the elect are people who have never lain with a woman, right? Let's see, where you got the blue letter on your phone? Let's see what that word virgin is, how it's used, right? In Revelation 14.
This is virgins in Revelation 14:4. Partheners, this one.
Kind. Just skip down, outline of biblical usage, number 2.
A man who has abstained from all uncleanness and whoredom attendant on idolatry.
It's that simple. It's that simple. When we're speaking about virgins, when we're speaking about whoredom, when we're speaking about prostitution even, we understand that there's a physical side to these things, but dealing with the Bible, there is also a spiritual side that sometimes has nothing to do with the physical whoredom, right? Give me Proverbs 5:1.
Give me whole Revelations.
Nah, you can drop Revelation. Maybe Proverbs 5:1.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 1. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil.
Now, when we did read Revelation 14, it said that these men were undefiled by women, right? So, understanding that a virgin has a spiritual sense, meaning a man that's undefiled by idolatry, we also have to understand what these women represent if there's a spiritual sense, right? Skip down to verse 18.
Proverbs 5:18. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always. And be thou ravished always with her love.
Right. So wisdom, right, is spoken often as a woman, right? Strange doctrines are spoken of as strange women, right? And we're going to get further edification on that. Give me skip over a couple chapters. Go to 7 and verse 4.
Proverbs 7:4. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister.
Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister. Now we have a sense of how wisdom is likened unto a woman, right? Keep going.
And call understanding thy kinswoman.
Right. And we understand that these laws, statutes, and commandments are our wisdom and our understanding in the sight of these nations. Right? Keep going.
Oh my goodness. Verse 5. That they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. Good Lord.
This is how these men are undefiled by women. Right? These are how these men are considered virgins in the spiritual sense, because wisdom has kept them undefiled from these strange doctrines, right? From this idolatry, right? From how America has prostituted herself with these other nations, right? We're going to get further clarification on this. Go to Revelation 2 and start at 1. Right.
Shalom, King. Shalom.
Shalom, Zawan. What's up, big dog? Shalom, Yaraka.
English is 2 and 1.
2 and 1. And we're going to read through to 5.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 1. Unto the angel of the church of Ephesus, write, these things saith he that holdeth the 7 stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of the 7 golden, candlesticks. I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil, and thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and are not, and hast found them liars, and hast borne and hast patience, and for my name's sake hast labored, and hast not fainted.
Right.
Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love.
So now speaking to these churches in Ephesus, right? These 7 churches in Asia Minor, they're being brought up on an accusation, not even an accusation, but that they have been found to have left their first love, right? Keep going.
Remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent.
Now, we read all of that just to get to the point where we can dissect what this first love is, right? Because it has a lot of meaning and bearing on what, on the topic of this lesson, which is these virgins, right? Go to Hebrews 13. Hebrews 13, I want to say 4.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 4.
All right.
Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers Yahweh will judge.
Again, marriage bed is undefiled, right? What happens in that bed is between you and your wife and the Most High, right? Now give me Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 12, right? We brought this out at camp maybe a few weeks ago. We were speaking to a brother, Jehovah's Witness, who wanted understanding on how America prostitutes itself or commits whoredom with all these other nations, right? As it speaks about in Revelations, right?
It's 14 what?
14 and 12.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
All right, so this is ultimately what it's speaking about in Revelation 14, right? When you go off into idolatry and you're fornicating with these off doctrines that are not sound, that are not good doctrine based on the laws of the Most High, this is what you run the risk of partaking in, right? Idolatry is spiritual fornication. All right, go to Ezekiel 20. We can start at 7.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 20, verse 7. Then said I unto them, cast ye away every man the abomination of his eyes, and defile not yourselves with the idols of Egypt.
We read in Hebrews that you don't defile yourself with your wife, right? This is how you defile yourself, and we're bringing it home, speaking about, because we read in the blue letter, this virginity that we're speaking about in Revelation is, it has to do with idolatry, right? So read that one more time, Baba Kasha.
Ezekiel 20 and 7. Then I said unto them, cast ye away every man the abomination of his eyes.
So cast away these abominations, go ahead.
And defile not yourselves with the idols of Egypt.
This is how you defile yourself. This is how you take yourself out of the category of being one of these virgins, right? It's not speaking about sleeping with women at all, right? Skip down to verse 18.
Ezekiel 20 and 18. But I said unto their children in the wilderness, walk ye not in the statutes of your fathers, neither observe their judgments, nor defile yourselves with their idols.
Again, we can see that you defile yourself once you worship these idols, once you take these accursed things into your house, right? This is how you're defiled, right? Let's go to, stay in Ezekiel, go to chapter 23, start at 7.
This is Ezekiel 23 and 7. Thus she committed her whoredoms with them, with all them that were the chosen men of Assyria, and with all on whom she doted, with all their idols she defiled herself.
Again, this is how Israel has defiled herself, right? And we understand now that the 144,000 are going to be men of Israel, the ruling class of Israel, who have not defiled themselves with these idols, right? Who have not bowed down to the image of the beast, right? You can read 8 too.
Verse 8. Neither left she her whoredoms brought from Egypt, for in her youth they lay with her, and they bruised the beast of her virginity.
Let's bring it home, right? This is how you lose your virginity, right? Anybody that is saying otherwise, that are saying that the 144,000 are people who have never slept with a woman, this is something that I need you to answer. This is something that I need you to address. Read that again.
Ezekiel 23 and 8. Neither left she her whoredoms brought from Egypt.
Right. This is how she was whoring herself out, being a prostitute. Right. Go ahead.
For in her youth they lay with her, and they bruised the breast of her virginity.
Now you ain't no virgin no more. You sleeping with these idols. Right. Go ahead.
And poured their whoredoms upon her.
All right. It's really as simple as that. Like I said, it's not going to be a long video. We got a few more precepts we going to hit. But Lord willing, these few things bring you a better understanding on what that's speaking about in Revelation. Right? Give me Jeremiah 3. Jeremiah 3. Right? Because we understand that Israel is the wife of the Most High. Right? And anytime we went off and served other gods, we went after these nations and we served their gods, it was considered whoredom, right? Go ahead.
31.
Start at 6.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 6. The Lord said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, Hast thou seen that which Hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel hath done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and upon every green tree, and there hath played the harlot.
That's a lot of you niggas out here that's dabbling in other religions and different things that are not of the Most High, and you're playing the harlot, essentially. Right? Go ahead. And if you're a harlot, you're not a virgin. Right? And if, according to what we're reading here, you commit whoredom, you are being a harlot if you are running with idols. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And I said after she had done all these things, Turn thou unto me. But she returned not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it.
Oh, so Israel going out, being a hoe in the neighborhood, right? Jenny round the way. And Judah see the same thing, and she follow after the same thing, right? She's committing whoredom against her husband, the Most High. Go ahead.
And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away, and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also.
So the whole nation is a bunch of harlots, men and women included. Right? Because you're not serving the Most High. You'd rather serve the gods of these other nations. Go ahead.
And it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks.
Okay, so, Salakia. Let me see if this is what I was. Yeah, you keep going.
Verse 10.
Right. These stones and stocks. A lot of people. There's a verse that comes to my mind where it speaks about how Israel has committed whoredoms with the images of men, right? And people post a meme where it shows a golden dildo, right? Yeah, and people are pushing this narrative that this whoredom that spoken about in length in the Bible is speaking about our women taking these golden dildos and pleasing themselves, right? And that's just not the case, right? These images of men, these stones and these stocks are speaking about idols, right? That people worship. Keep going. Right? Like I said earlier, it's just a lot of things people take on surface value, but they miss certain things, right? Because you don't do your due diligence and you don't want to study, you don't want to put in the time and effort to put your doctrine up against opposing ideas to see where you may or may not be going on, right? These things are necessary. Go ahead.
And yet, for all this, her treacherous sister Judah hath not turned unto me with her whole heart, but faintly said, but faintly. I don't think that's
where verse you at?
10.
Faintly.
But faintly saith the Lord, and the Lord. I'm gonna read that again. Verse Jeremiah 3:10. And yet for all this, her treacherous sister Judah hath not turned unto me with her whole heart, but faintly saith the Lord.
Shalom, Makaz.
Verse 11. And the Lord saith unto me, the backsliding Israel hath justified herself more than treacherous Judah.
Hey, we understand that. The Northern Kingdom was into some next level whoredom, right? Any and everybody we laying with, right? Go ahead.
Verse 12. Go and proclaim these words toward the north, and say, return, thou backsliding Israel, saith the Lord, and I will not cause mine anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, saith the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever.
Right. Let's get down to 14, right? Let's get down to 14.
Verse 14. Turn, O backsliding children.
Right, this is the whole message. Repent. Right? Come back to the law, statutes, and commandments in the faith in Yahushua. Right? It's really not rocket science. 1 + 1. Right? Come back to the Most High. Repent. Go ahead.
Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you.
I am married unto you. This is the whole context, right? There is a marriage between the Most High and this nation of people known as Israel. And anytime you are operating outside of that marriage, you are committing whoredom, and you are not a virgin. All right? You are defiled sexually, spiritually, right? Go ahead.
And I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion.
All right. So like this. Get down to 20. Let's see what that says.
Jeremiah 3:20. Surely as a wife treacherously departeth from her husband, so have ye dealt treacherously with me, O house of Israel, saith Yahweh.
So these 144,000 men are ones that have cleaved to the Most High and have not departed from it, right? Because you are his wife. And as such, adultery is not going to be tolerated, right? You are not going to be given rulership of his kingdom if you are out here committing adultery on the Most High God, right? Give me Proverbs 29:3. All right.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 3. Whoso loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father.
Here we go. All right. We want to show ourselves approved, right? I believe, I want to say either in Sirach or Wisdom of Solomon, it says that the Most High loveth none but he that dwelleth with wisdom, right? Now we're going to get into this relationship that these 144,000 men will have with wisdom, right? Not at all saying that I'm one of these men, but according to what we see in the Bible, this is what these men are, how these men are going to be operating, right? Read that from the top.
Proverbs 29:3. Whoso loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father, but he that keepeth company with harlots spendeth his substance.
Okay, now we have a slight contrast between wisdom and harlotry, right? You love wisdom, Your parents are proud of you. You operating and conducting yourselves in the way you need to be conducting yourself in this life, right? Let's go to Tobit 4 and 12, one of the ones that we need to bring out, right? Tobit 4 and 12, because I bring this out all the time, especially at camp, right? As advice to young men and women on who to be dealing with as far as a marriage goes, as far as a relationship goes. But there's something that I've never touched on when bringing this out that I would like to during this lesson, right? Go ahead. And I bring this out for different reasons. Actually, I believe this is the same verse that speaks about how Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are the fathers of the prophets, right? So I'll bring this out for that too. But shit, the first line I never really touch on, right? Because outside of this lesson, it's kind of hard to deal with. But go ahead.
Tobit 4 and 12. Beware of all whoredom.
Beware of all whoredom. That means there's different aspects to whoredom, right? It's not just physical, right? Like we're going into, there's also a spiritual side to it. Beware of all whoredom, right? Adultery against, if you're a woman, adultery against your husband, and adultery against the Most High God, right? Fornication with strange women, be it physical or spiritual. Go ahead.
Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife. Now
we read about in Proverbs a spiritually strange wife. These off doctrines, right? These churches that are on every corner bidding men to come in to the slaughterhouse, right? So there's not only heathen women of different nations that we need to be aware of, right? But there are strange doctrines in the spiritual sense that we need to stay far away from, right? That we need to be separate from. You can drop that. Give me Sirach 15 and 1.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 15, verse 1. He that feareth the Lord will do good, and he that hath knowledge of the law shall obtain her. And as a mother shall meet him, and receive him as a wife married of a virgin. Good Lord.
Look, we take a simple premise and we build on it according to what the Bible says. I'm not trying to interpret this thing my own way and get people to follow a doctrine that I'm just making up. This is what's written in black and white, right? Read 2 again. Speaking about wisdom, speaking about knowledge, speaking about this law, right, which gives us these things. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 15 and 2. And as a mother shall meet him, and receive him as a wife married of a virgin,
right?
With the bread of understanding shall she feed him, and give him water of wisdom to drink. He shall be stayed upon her, and shall not be moved, and shall rely upon her, and shall not be confounded.
This is, I believe Hassad did maybe even multiple videos on, and I can't remember the gist of the videos, but I remember the title. It sticks out to me still to this day. Wisdom is my main squeeze, right? Wisdom is my first wife, my first love. This is that first love that these men in the Asia Minor had left, right? Keep going.
Verse 5. She shall exalt him above his neighbors, and in the midst of the congregation shall she open his mouth. He shall find joy and a crown of gladness, and she shall cause him to inherit of her an everlasting name. But foolish men shall not attain unto her, and sinners shall not see her. For she is far from pride, and men that are liars cannot remember her.
Okay, so now we're speaking about wisdom and understanding knowledge as a woman, right? And we're about to wrap this up. Like I said, it's not going to be a long video. Give me Sirach 36 and 24.
It's Ecclesiastes 36 and 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
Brothers bring this shit out all the time, so like it for my language, right? He that getteth the wife beginning, or Salakia.
I'll read it again.
Please do.
Ecclesiastes 35 or 36 and 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, right? So we understand that your wife is your possession, right? That's something that's very common understanding amongst the nation, amongst the community of Israel, right? Your wife is your possession, right? We're going to build on that. Go ahead. Shalom, Masha. Go ahead.
A help like unto himself and a pillar of rest.
Right.
Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled.
Where there is no hedge, that possession gets spoiled, right? You can't protect that possession, somebody gonna come in and steal it. Go ahead.
And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning.
Again, I'm still talking about a wife, but I'm also talking about wisdom, right? And to bring that home, give me Wisdom of Solomon 8:1. Wisdom of Solomon 8:1. These last two verses are the ones that really hit home for me personally. Go ahead.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 1. Wisdom reacheth from one end to another mightily, and sweetly doth she order all things.
Again, we're speaking of wisdom as a woman. Go ahead.
I loved her. Verse 2. I loved her.
I love wisdom, right? Before, hey, as a single, I won't say single man, but as a as a man, I love wisdom above any and everything else I can attain in this life, above any other possession I have in this life, or am able to take unto myself. Go ahead.
I loved her. I sought her out from my youth.
This is that wife from your youth, right? This wisdom. Go ahead.
I desired to make her my spouse.
This is my wife, and I am technically I'm a virgin because I'm with this wife and I'm not messing around with nobody else, right? I'm not in adultery, in idolatry, fornicating with these off doctrines, right? Go ahead.
And I was a lover of her beauty.
I'm a lover of her beauty. Don't nobody look better than me, right? Can't nobody make me forsake this woman. Go ahead. Yep.
Verse 3. In that she is conversant with Yahweh. She magnifieth her nobility. Yea, the Lord of all things himself loved her.
And the Most High loved wisdom. Right? So you on the right track if you are finding yourself as a man or a woman desiring wisdom, right? It says discipline and wisdom are things that bring you to this kingdom that we're trying to obtain, right? Go ahead.
Verse 5. Verse 4. For she is privy to the mysteries of the knowledge of Yahweh and a lover of his works.
All right, you want to know anything about the Most High God, then you need wisdom on your side, right? You have to be dwelling with wisdom. All right, go ahead.
Verse 5. If riches be a possession to be desired.
This is it. If riches be a possession to be desired, go ahead.
So if riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom that worketh in all things?
So wisdom is a possession that you can take, right? Go back to Sirach 36 real quick, all right? I'm going to read this. Verse 5. If riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom that worketh all things? All right? Go ahead, read that.
Ecclesiastes 36 and 24. He that getteth the wife beginneth a possession.
This is my wife. This is my possession, right? This is the wife of my youth. Go ahead.
A help like unto himself and a pillar of rest. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning.
Hey, look, I could be a single man. As long as I'm dwelling with wisdom, ain't no reason to be mourning. Right? And with that, that's for the, actually, give me 1 Timothy 3 and 2. 1 Timothy 3 and 2.
It's the book of 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2.
Right.
A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, diligent, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach.
All right, so this is an epistle of Paul, right? We have to understand that Paul was a leader of these congregations, these different churches, right? As such, he can set bylaws for his congregation that they have to follow if they want to be in this organization, right? In his churches, right? So as the brothers Paul is exercising his authority and ordering those up under him, he says a bishop, a leader in this congregation, has to be the husband of one wife, right? Now, some people would say that this is a physical woman, and I can go with that, right? But the thing is, if he says a bishop has to be the husband of one wife, does that mean then that a bishop has to have a wife and cannot be single? Does that mean that Paul himself, because he did not have a wife, was unqualified by his own specifications? Right? Let's see. Yeah, with that, we could drop it at that, right? At the end of the day, the wife, the woman that you should be focusing on, whether you're single, whether you have a wife, whether you have several wives, right? Your main squeeze should be wisdom, right? And with that, you got something you want to add? Yeah, with that, I say, Kal Halal, Yahaba Shem Yahshua Barakatah, or Yahweh Shai Wa Barakatah. All praise to the Most High God, Kwam Yashua.
Kwam Yashua.
SICARRI.